You know, when it comes to sport touring motorcycles, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to quickly discover that some bikes in this segment lean towards the sportier side of life, while others push the needle towards the touring category. For BMW's all-new R1250 RS, the engineers at BMW Motorrad started with their naked R1250R, you know, the one we sampled a few weeks back. And then they proceeded to lengthen its wheelbase and overall length, revised the steering geometry, and added an upper fairing, all with an eye to keeping their new RS closer to the sportier side of the sport touring equation. Driving that point home, the RS also has plenty of sport bike flavored running gear, including a nice 43mm upside down fork, sweet Brembo 4-piston radial caliper brakes, while out back, a cast aluminum swing arm aided by BMW's shaft damping paralever helps the rubber meet the road. While under the fairing, the new Boxer engine is a pretty big step up over the previous generation. Not only is the horizontally opposed twin now 1,254 cc's, but it also has a new variable timing and lift intake valve cam system that BMW Motorrad calls ShiftCam, a system designed to create more swirl in the combustion chamber, resulting in a more efficient burn and more torque. So, is the R1250 RS a sportster when it comes to sport touring? I say yes, but let's see what this week's guest road tester, Jeff Keay, has to say. So Jeff, you rolled up this morning on a Yamaha FJ 1300 and I thought, perfect. I am so glad that we got you onto this bike because they're both Gentleman's Express, right?
Yeah, this, I'm going to sound like I'm on the BMW payroll. I'm a Yamaha guy, but you know, this one really hits the sweet spot between kind of a sporty feel and a touring bike. It's super comfortable. You know, the adjectives that are running through my mind, it's civilized, it's elegant, it's one of the smoothest bikes I've ever been on. I mean, you know, it's a great motor. It's just a pleasure to ride all the way around.
Yeah, smooth is, I think, the ultimate word, because for me, it's like the engine's smooth, the bars are smooth, the foot pegs are smooth, like you feel no vibration.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that new engine. It's just, it's hard to believe it's a big displacement twin because the flywheel feels so light, like the throttle control.
Yeah, I mean, when you're sitting at idle, and if you blip the throttle a little bit, you've still got that torque. So there's a lot of inertia in there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a classic, that flat twin. It's a great motor. The center of gravity is low. It's smooth. It pulls like a tractor, you know, pretty well anywhere, any gear. The transmission on this one is 6 gears. I generally think for gentlemen of our age, you know, anything more than 5 gears is undignified, but it allows you to stay in a really comfortable place, whether you're going at highway speeds or whether you're tooling around, you know, on the twisties or whether you're in town. It's a really, really pleasant bike to ride.
What about the brakes? Got nice Brembo brakes up front?
Yeah, the big discs on the front, you know, it's one finger braking, very progressive, but also very responsive, so it doesn't take much. You know, coming off an older bike that's a little squishier, this one, the first couple of times that I used it, you know, you felt a grab. Once you get the hang of that, beautiful. You know, back brake, same thing. I mean, I've found with BMWs, the brakes are always like really effective, you know?
Yeah. What did you think of the controls? You know, the bike now has the new color screen.
Yep.
You know, you had the heated grips. What did you think of the layout?
It's pretty, multicolored. It's big. It's you know, easily in your line of sight when you're riding, and it's intuitive. And you get a lot of information on the screen. You know, and with the menu buttons and the scrolling buttons, you know, you can switch, you know, from rain, for example, to road mode or to dynamic mode. It's all easy to do on the fly. So, you know, you get a lot of information from a fairly simple package.
Comfort, saddle, I mean, this thing is designed to go, it looks like you can get some bags on it and off you go.
Yep.
So what about comfort?
I find that having this little bit here gives you that a little bit of support, you know, on the lower part of your back, especially when you're accelerating. But also it allows you to kind of push back and find your balance, you know, with the weight on your arms and the weight on your lower back. But the riding attitude, you know, you're a little bit crouched over, but again, not so far that it would preclude a long ride. Like you could do, you know, 4 or 5 hours on this thing. You know, you could do a long day's riding on this thing quite comfortably.
So who are we going to recommend this to? Who wants to buy this bike?
You know, if you've been riding a sport bike for a long time and you've decided that you're going to do more touring, this would be a really beautiful transitional bike before you went to like a full touring model, you know,
Right.
like a wing or something like that. This thing would be, it feels light. Maybe it's something to do with lower center of gravity, but you know, an easy bike to ride in the city and a great bike on the highway. And I think it's the price range. It's not crazy expensive either. So it's a pretty darn nice bike.
Pretty darn nice bike. There's a good summary. Jeffrey, great job today. Thank you so much.
Pleasure as always.
Did a good job.